was my wife.
Your
My
wife?
mom.
All right, we're live now.
Yeah, my mom, Logan's wife, Paulina, Ken at the lap, Travis.
Dang, dude, that's a bummer.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna go back on and be like, this is the new link. All right, where were we?
Are we live again?
Yeah, we're live again.
I don't see it. Oh, hey, you did it. Part 2.
I did it. I did it. Did I tell you guys that the podcast YouTube page got deleted?
Yeah, was that a couple months back?
Yeah,
Yeah. You and Mark Bells.
Mark Bell.
Yeah, his got taken down too.
His did. Mark Bell.
Yeah, his got taken down too.
Okay, cool. Got it. All right.
So we start by summarizing.
Yeah, let's summarize.
All right, WFP ain't gonna do shit. They're gonna run out of money in like 3 to 5 years. Grid ran through 80 mil. They're gonna blow through 15 real quick. I have no idea how they're actually gonna make money. CrossFit's doing good. I'm up 26 members this year, and I think it's only up from here.
Okay.
The Open is coming. It's going to be fun. That's the best thing for my members. I'm excited that it's getting some garnered attention from CrossFit. It's getting quality Open announcements with good athletes that have good personalities. They're not potatoes.
Like who?
Week 3 is like Hopper, Dallin, and Sprague.
Oh, is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at any of this stuff.
Savan Podcast is doing the entire broadcast for Syndicate Crown. That's going to be
Nice.
awesome. They're getting programmed by J.R. Howell.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel like there's good stuff happening. There's been a lot of changes. They got affiliate councils. They have people that are working more actively on the big picture.
Mm.
You can't fix what happened before, but
Right.
I think that it's silly to say that there's been no action. I can promise you that the one thing that they really wanted didn't happen, and Dave didn't get fired. And boo-hoo. And so I think that's the big reason that they're still out and it's never going to be good enough. But have enough balls to say that then. I hate that they say that they didn't do anything. There's been things. List your bullet points of the things that you need to change, exactly how they should be changed.
Yeah. I'm gonna with that, like I agree with you for sure that like if they're gonna be like, oh man, dude, it's just like so hard for me because I'm like, I don't think that they owe anybody an explanation. You know what I mean? Like that's just me being like, I don't know, freedom.
Oh,
Right?
no, I
Like I
agree.
don't
They
think that.
don't owe us anything. But if you want us to respect their decision, then there should be details.
Yeah, but you also
Goes
can't
goes
say
both
that they're going to
ways.
be transparent through the whole thing
Right.
and then
Yeah.
not be transparent.
Well, what do you elaborate a little bit more? What do you mean?
Are you
So
talking
if
about
I hear
CrossFit
if
with the
I'm an athlete,
investigation?
yeah, if I'm an athlete and I hear and I'm at the games and I hear transparency, the first thing I
Oh
think
yeah.
of is, okay, tell me the reason, like tell me your conclusion off the investigation of why it happened.
Yeah.
We know what happened, but why did it happen?
Right.
That's the transparency I want as an athlete so that when I go back, I'm not worried about that anymore. I know that you guys messed up with your medical staff and didn't have enough buoys out or whatever it was. Like, tell me the nitty gritty
Yeah.
so I know you're working towards it, not just like trust us.
Yeah. And if they're worried about
Yeah.
legal stuff, they should have just insulated themselves, being like, we will tell you as much as we are legally allowed to without it being of detriment to the process.
Mm-hmm. And then, can I ask this too? And I know that I've asked a similar question to this, like probably in summer, but and so what? Like genuinely, so what if their reason for like bowing out is because Dave Castro didn't get fired?
Yeah,
Like, why does this bother people?
it bothers me because they don't have the balls to actually just say it flat out.
Huh?
If you
But
want
do you
Dave gone,
think?
say you want Dave gone.
Yeah, but don't you think there would be like a whole other set of like complaints and stuff if they did come out and say that?
I don't know. Say it then.
Yeah.
I kind of want to get Patty V on. See if I can get somebody to link me.
I love Pat to death. Like that sucks for me. He's by far one of my favorite CrossFit athletes. Big picture. Like 2017, I have a photo with him after the games. Like in 2014 or 15 at Granite Games when he was up and coming. We were running Boxstar Apparel and sponsoring athletes like Hiller and Street and Dylan Martin and Nick Block, who took drugs. Um, but but like I remember the after party, like talking to Pat and being as an apparel company, being like, "Hey, what are sponsors doing for you guys at this stage of the sport? And like, how are they doing?" And Pat was so cool and so down to earth and fun. Like, there's so many things I like about Pat. The Uncle Pat whole Uncle Pat thing. He's just a fun dude,
Mm-hmm.
and it sucks to see him not be a part of the sport because he was one of those personalities that actually gave the sport some character,
Yeah.
and that sucks. But if you're not going to support me, it makes me hard to want to support you.
It like you as an affiliate owner.
If you're not supporting CrossFit, I don't really want to support you. No.
Mm.
Yeah, because now your true colors are showing that you care about money and you care about the athlete only moving forward. And I think that's where it's like, hey,
Which
why do I care now?
which I understand, but then it just makes me realize that we really are the same. We
Yeah.
don't really understand what we're trying to do and what we're truly a part of, and we're not the same. And hey, that's all good, but like I'm not gonna go the extra mile for you because I know that you're not gonna go any distance for me.
Hmm.
Like you should be questioning the people that stayed, why they stayed, more so than why people left.
I
I feel
think,
like if you
man.
want to like really open up a can of worms, you interview the Peppers and the Spragues. Like, why did you stay? Because I'm sure that they got as a as top people in the sport, they got offers too.
And they're doing
Right.
both. I mean, what
Yeah.
I know,
Right.
Hopper, Sprague, Dallin, Justin, I know that they're all doing it. And James has said that this has been such a big part of his life and a source of good. Like, I love it. I'm still doing it. I'm going to try
Yeah.
to do more. If it's too much, I will know that this year, and I will choose what path is best for me. And I think a lot of those athletes are going to feel it out. But again, I'm not a wizard of finance, but I did go to business school and I have done consulting for businesses, and I know how much broadcast costs and to run these things. I have no idea how World Fitness Project is actually going to make money and enough money to like even break even and support the initial investment that they're doing. Like they need to have 15 mil and then about 90 more million to burn over the next 5 to 8 years for them to gain enough traction and eyeballs and following to eventually turn some profit. So I don't know if they have that. If they have that, they have a chance. But they need to have the finances in reserve to sustain 5 to 8 years of losses.
Hmm.
This shit's expensive to run. And at every turn, paying all those athletes all that money, you're paying each event, you're paying for broadcast, you're paying for advertising, you're paying for employees. You think Jason's doing this for free?
Yeah, but I think that like even at this wait, Jason Ansley?
Yeah,
Oh, for sure not. No. Jason's a cool dude.
he is a cool dude.
But I think okay, a lot of thoughts here that there's too much parallel between WFP and CrossFit. Like I don't think to be honest like okay, from an athlete standpoint, kind of like adding to Joe your first point is that there's a bunch of athletes that are doing both. So I don't really think it's like a thing of like choosing CrossFit or WFP or athletes that are bowing out of the CrossFit season are doing it just because they have the WFP to lean on, right? Because like Pat Vellner, let's just keep it a full stack, has got enough money plus education to not do either of them right
Yeah,
now.
right.
Like he just doesn't
Yeah.
have to do it. And I believe that there's a lot of athletes that are doing WFP because they don't have any opportunity for income otherwise, and like their whole life has to be training. And so far they've been living basically at the skin of their teeth and they need some sort of income to sustain them to be able to continue to do this long term. Right.
Yep. So can I ask you this?
Yeah.
All right. Let's say, Justin, let's say your net worth between you and Heather is $1.2 million.
It's much higher than that.
And Will Morad comes up to you and says, "Hey, I really would like you to donate $250,000 of your net worth to this World Fitness Project," and then he runs the business. Do you truly believe that you're getting your money back?
I mean, for sure, I would not invest in any sort of workout thing ever.
I
Like,
agree.
not just, yeah, straight up.
CrossFit
So,
Games loses money. Greg said flat out that CrossFit
yeah,
Games loses them 25 to 30 million dollars.
yeah. But if they got, how much did they supposedly get? 14 million WFP?
I think 15 from the Gillette family. So all I'm saying
Yeah.
is, I understand how it exists. I
Hmm.
understand the goal of what they're doing, but from an investor standpoint and looking at the runway for growth, I do not understand where this magical ROI is.
Yeah, I don't think that there probably is one. Whoever gave them the money definitely just has 15 mil to burn. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like
But that's this year. And
yeah,
then what?
whatever. You know, I mean,
Right,
I don't know.
whatever. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah,
After
like,
this year, I think it's going to be whatever.
right. Yeah.
So,
I
like,
mean, it's not
athletes that
my
are doing
money.
it, take the money. Take the
Right.
money. Do what you got
Exactly.
to do. But it's not going to be a thing for long.
But also,
Like I said,
we can't even really say that because, I mean, look at High Rocks, bro.
dude,
Like,
Hyrox is such a well-run machine, and they've been at it for a long time.
yeah, but they had to start, you know?
They
And
started
so,
in like
like,
2017, and like they weren't getting anywhere for years and years and years. And then they started to break through, and now they're selling out every venue. Yes, they're doing great now,
yeah.
but it's 8 years later.
Yeah, but that's not that long.
It
Eight
is when it
years?
costs you this much money to run, and you have one investor.
But the one investor probably has another 15 mil. Like,
That's gonna cover year two. They need 8 years of burn.
yeah, that's fine. But like, but I think okay, the
You know what that
argument,
math is, real quick? So
yeah, for
8 years of
sure.
burn is $120 million.
Yeah,
So I
but
don't know how much they have, but they need more.
well, wait, hold on. You don't know that they're gonna burn through 15 mil this year. We don't know that. That's but number one. But number two,
Okay.
I don't even
We
think it's
got 40
relevant.
athletes. We got 40 athletes
Yeah,
making how much money?
I don't know how much do they make.
I think it's 60 to 100K, but
Okay.
we don't know if it could be more. So
Yeah.
let's say an average of 80K.
Hmm.
8 times 4 is 32, so you got 3.2 million
Hmm.
tied up in just the athletes that are currently pros. And you're just paying them to show up. 3.2 mil. So that's 1/5 of your total. And then you're paying for each event. So I think it's 370. So you got another 130.
There are
So we're at, like,
370 events.
well,
What'd
I
you
was
say?
counting. There's the events pay. I think winner for the first two is 30 and the finals is 70.
Oh, okay.
And then there's two divisions. So you got 330, 260. So we're at like 3.5. Okay, so there's 3.5 spent just on paying people to be a part of it. So
Hmm.
that's, again, a little over 1/5 of your total available money to spend.
Hmm.
And then you got to run this whole thing,
Yeah.
which is, I would guess, dude, you're well over $1 million per. And, oh,
$1 million to run it, you think?
yeah.
Well, how many events does WFP do a year? 3?
Yeah.
You think that's going to cost $1 million per event to run?
Dude, to rent these halls, to move all that stuff, like equipment,
Where are they going?
rig,
What are the
Indianapolis,
venues?
Arizona, and then the finals might be in
In
Europe.
Europe.
Like the colleges, you're saying?
I don't know. But
We don't know what the venues are.
Dude, so like, again, for Grid League, they $80 million. Their first event was in Madison Square Garden.
Hmm.
I think it was $1 million to host it there.
Yeah, but that's Madison Square Garden, dude.
I know. I'm just saying, like,
If they go to like Indiana State or something, they're definitely not paying even a third
but
of
then
that, you know?
all that equipment,
Yeah, but
you got to
equipment,
transport it.
yeah, for sure that.
Yeah, I signed up for High Rocks in New York City, so it cost like $220, and it
To
was
sign
sold
up.
out within a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
I'll
just-
probably end up doing one.
I don't think like trying to stack high rock or not high rocks, but like WFP and CrossFit is just not even like a fair game. You know what I mean? Like obviously WFP is not going to do anything close to what CrossFit is doing. I don't even like
Money?
what.
I mean, they both lose money.
Well, yeah, but they're not going to pull in the same crowd, especially not the first year. Like, there's going to be a whole bunch of shit that goes awry for sure.
I'm not going to watch it.
Huh?
I'm not going to watch it.
I'm not going to watch it either. But
if
it's on TV and I'm flipping through, I'd much rather watch it flipping through a channel than trying to find a YouTube link or on a CrossFit Games page.
Yeah, I'll watch it for sure if it's like to see how it's running and to see what it looks like for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way,
it'll be interesting.
Yeah. What about let's go back to like how does the Open actually directly impact you? That's what we were talking about when we ended.
There's no direct impact. It is indirect impact.
Okay. So now bringing in the athlete thing to it, right? Like kind of what I was talking about before, like why is it so important to everybody? Like the athletes are not important until they're important. And the important thing is like that the relevance of the athlete only surrounds the Open and the game season. So why is it so important to everybody, the athlete thing, to like have that? Like why does everybody feel like it's affecting the Open, or it's not helping the affiliate owners and things of that nature?
It's less money in the pot. It's less people to drive the sport forward.
What do you mean less money in the pot?
There's less people signing up. There's less money in the pot.
So how many athletes have like bowed out?
Bro, we don't know until 10 days from now.
Are you talking about elite athletes? Or are you talking about athletes in your regular gym that aren't going to sign up anymore?
Oh, elite.
We won't know until Monday when the first workout submission deadline passes.
Yeah.
We won't know.
Because, yeah, again, to me, dude, it's like, I don't think that it's as relevant as people are making it seem it is, that athletes are not participating in the Open. I think people who decided that they're not going to do the Open made up their mind CrossFit Games last year.
No, I agree that it honestly isn't going to be that detrimental to our ecosystem. It's just not a good thing for our ecosystem. There's been a lot of not good things. So we want to try to stop the bleeding at some point.
Right, yeah, totally.
But from what they already put out, I'm excited for the Open. I think each Open announcement will have a good amount of excitement to watch those athletes go to war and test that workout. And then we get to go do it. Like, that's fun. That's good enough for me. And I'm going to try and translate that excitement to everyone else.
Yeah, let's bookmark how many elite athletes are stepping out this year that'll be back next year. You know, because they made their decision right after the games and didn't think it through and didn't really want to see any changes that were made. There's going to be a handful that do come back next year, and maybe some that don't. But when you have so many people doing the Open and so many people trying to qualify, there's enough backlog of athletes that they're just going to take the spot and go forward. Mm-hmm. You're going to have new elite athletes, people that haven't gotten to the podium or haven't gotten to the events, semifinal events, because of a handful of people at the top, and now they're going to be there, and it's going to be new storylines. Hopefully they push those storylines. You know, I'm interested to see if they talk about WFP during the CrossFit season on the streams, you know, versus what they're doing there. But it should be interesting. Adler was saying that he doesn't think it's possible to win both because he's looking from a winning mindset, right? He wants to win whatever he goes to. He doesn't think it's possible to win both. He said it's possible to do both. But to win is a different subject. But not many people are going to have that same mindset.
So is Adler in for the CrossFit Games?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so either.
His wife said flat out, what do the affiliates do for the athletes? So I don't think so.
What do you mean? I don't understand. What does that mean?
She asked the question, what do the affiliates do for the athletes?
They pay them.
We pay you. We support you. We follow you. We like and subscribe you. I don't know what else we could do.
I mean, I think she should ask her affiliate members, right? Or ask herself as an affiliate owner.
Right. It's nuts. That's crazy to me that she could be so tone deaf. But hey.
French Canadians.
Yeah. Dude, I think it's so interesting though. Like this conversation of like support the affiliate, support the affiliate, support the affiliate. And I agree that the support should be on the affiliates for this because support small business always. But I just feel like this focus on the athletes not supporting the affiliates when it seemingly is that CrossFit hasn't supported affiliates in years is like kind of out there, right?
I don't think we're complaining that they don't support the affiliates.
Okay.
I think we're complaining that it seems like they're even acting like we owe them something.
Do you think, okay, devil's advocate, do you think maybe they're a little bit right? Because, and just follow me here, okay? This might be totally tone deaf or wrong, but just follow me for a second. I understand that you guys are the ones who like support them and you're the fans, right? So you show up and you actually add to the pool for their money. I understand that 100%. But on the same token, like they are literally your marketing for free. Not for free because you're paying them. You're essentially paying a marketing fee, right? By having them go to the games and they're showing up because they're going to make money, blah, 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 blah. But the same thing, like again, like we talked about before, I think that the athletes are just as important as they believe that they are because they are the ones who draw the spectacle to the games. And then because of the games, people want to show up to a CrossFit gym. Remember, Joe, we've had this conversation even on air. Me personally, I've heard more times than not people say, "Oh, CrossFit, I could never do that." Because they just like they see certain things and they're like, I could never do that.
Yeah.
But at least the conversation, when somebody sees the games, the conversation happens, right? And so when you have good players, when you have good characters, the athletes, right? Because let's be honest, a lot of these athletes have no personality, zero, right? And they're hard to even like listen to, right? So when you have somebody like Colton Mertens, who's like a great character for the sport, or even Pat Vellner, right? Colton Mertens has never said anything negative about CrossFit, so never mind. But if you have somebody like Pat Vellner, who's like, I think should be one of the figureheads, you know, besides Rich Froning and, you know, everybody that we know about. But when you have somebody like that who like bows out and he's public about it, that's not good PR for CrossFit. Forget Pat. It actually works in his favor.
We agree.
So do you think that maybe they're like a little bit right?
They're not. I'm not saying they're wrong. It's just it's a very symbiotic relationship.
Yeah,
and when
100%.
it starts to get that way, where there's just an absence of humility, it's like okay, you're not. The loop closes.
I think definitely the way that she communicated, probably what she meant was tone deaf and not like a good way to communicate that at all. But like I can see the perspective that she's coming from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in like the grand scheme, I think I understand what she was trying to say.
Yeah.
But again, it's things are different. Like we don't have media to drive these athlete stories. We have Andrew Hiller doing all of it.
Yeah, and he's doing a really good job.
Dude, what he does on his own damn time and accord just for his own YouTube channel is like
I talked to him at Wadapalooza.
Take all the bad, man. This whole community owes Andrew a lot.
They do. Yeah. 100%. Like honestly, if I'm the owner of CrossFit, I'm paying Andrew Hiller personally.
Dude, if there's a Mount Rushmore,
yeah.
Dude, Andrew's up there. Like as crazy as that may sound, him, Savan, and some of those people have kept this sport alive.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's like that character.
If it wasn't for them, there would be like no content.
Yeah.
It would be so sparse. There'd be there'd be days passing with nothing to watch. And the more those days pass, the less times you go online YouTube looking for it.
Yeah, people lean on him for sure. Like I saw him at Wadapalooza. I happened to sit next to him when I was sitting down eating lunch. And I was like, yo, you got me in trouble. He's like, what did I do? And we talked about it. It was super funny.
Yeah.
But it was like a quick conversation. He was super funny about it. And then the Reps Ahead group came up and they did like a panel conversation with some of their athletes they were using. I still don't understand the whole Reps Ahead thing, but they tried to describe it. Still didn't understand. But it was funny because the guy who was in charge was like, okay, we have this panel of athletes. Here's what we do, sort of. And then, okay, Andrew, ask some questions. And they just leaned on Andrew to ask questions to the athletes that they weren't just prepared to do themselves. Like, they're utilizing him because they know he's important and he knows the space so well. He's going to ask them uncomfortable questions in front of a group live, or he's going to ask them questions that we're all thinking about, um, which was funny. But then again, the tone deaf to the athlete's perspective was listening to the athletes answer the questions. It's just like they, it just sounded like they were too like didn't care. Like they were just like, oh, I don't know. They weren't giving in to like the social media side of like trying to build a brand.
Yeah.
Like I think one of the questions like was asking one of the girls like, oh, she's stronger and faster than you. What do you think about going against her head to head? And the one chick was like, oh, I don't know. It's like, no, give us something. You have to know that you're propping you're helping reps ahead. You're right here. Like help them push the brand of like creating a dichotomy between each other of we both want to win. What are you gonna do to win? It was kind of awkward sitting there listening.
Well, dude, but
But it
that
was good because they leaned on him.
that goes into the whole thing though, like with CrossFitters and like like not having personalities and shit. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, the sport needs those people like Andrew Hiller because the athletes are not going to be the people to do it. You know, and it's like, I don't know if it's like a character thing, like where like these athletes, they just are so dialed and focused that they can't even get themselves out, like, or if it's just like, this is just what athletes do. You know what I mean? Where they're just, I don't know. But
yeah, again, it's a different era. Like in that, it sucks because again, in the 20 teens era, there was a whole CrossFit media team, and every weekend that team was traveling throughout the world, getting content on these athletes, telling stories. And I'm sure that they were working with the athletes to be like, hey, Dan, I know you're a Christian and I know you're a pretty straight edge, but like, we got to find some goofy in you and we got to do this. And like, I'm sure they did a good job of like trying to like develop that, being like, hey, I want you to be a little bit cringy or like whatever this stuff is, to just create some feeling good or bad about it. And all that stuff, again, what do most people know about Chalk Boy? Fisher.
Ryan Fisher?
What do people know about Ryan Fisher?
He told someone he's going to kill him.
Yeah, he told the judge he's going to kill him.
Yeah.
Because regionals made good content and there was good media and they told good stories and it was funny and they showed the whole thing.
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore and it sucks.
Yeah, it's buttery bros that go around acting like they're 10 years old. And then I saw them at WADA too. It's interesting. And then
Justin loves Heber.
Should I give my Buttery Bros story real quick? I don't really care.
Sure.
I kind of have avoided this for a little bit, doing it
Yeah,
publicly,
go for
but
it.
I really don't give a shit. Bro, I have such a problem with influencers who are like turn the camera on, turn the camera off type of people, you know? And they just like, they're not who, like, I know that there's a level of, you know, personality that has to come out on camera, but also like it should actually be like, it should be your personality just more exacerbated. You know what I'm saying? And I have run into the Buttery Bros a bunch of times. They probably don't remember who I am, but I've run into them a bunch of times. And Heber specifically, he's the dude with the long hair, right?
yeah.
So, dude, just
Stop! Don't act like you don't know who he is. Just the
I know. I seriously, I don't know. I know the other dude's name is
Context
Mars.
specific.
Now that we've said Heber, who Heber is,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
because I don't watch their content is not for me. I'm not the Jake Paul fan type of kid. You know what I mean? So, but I'll tell you about the last interaction that I had with them that just made me like, dude, this guy is just not who he says he is or acts like. But one time I saw them literally setting up to speak to a specific athlete when I was working at a specific booth. They cut this entire line to get this clip of people, like literally, bro, probably 100 feet of people or more, you know, well, way more than 100 feet because that's not very far. They cut a huge line just to get this clip and made all the fans wait, you know, for them to get their clip. And like, they were just like talking about, it was just so fake the way they turned it on and turned it off. Then after that, the next time I see this dude is at a Tough Mudder, sponsored by Rain later that year. And I was like, Buttery Bros. I was working this booth. I was like, Buttery Bro, whatever. The dude literally, he like looks tired and shit, you know? And he looks at me and he goes like this. And he like walks over to the booth and like just total, like just, I was like, oh my gosh. So I said to the dude, I looked him in his face and I go, I didn't mean to ruin your day, bro. Like you did not have to come over here. I'm not like a 6-year-old fan, you know, like I was just saying, what's up? because he said to me, I think he said something like, "What do you want?" or something like something just super like rude almost, you know. And I was like, "Yeah, these guys are just. I don't know about Mars. I don't know anything about that guy, but Heber
Yeah.
specifically, I'm just like, dude, I don't know. I don't like those people. It's either you are what you are or you're not, you know."
Did you know Marson used to be married to Brooke Ends?
I knew
Yep.
that. I knew
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how he got all the good footage of her in the behind the scenes.
Oh, actually.
Yeah,
We'll
because he
probably
like
watch
there's
it.
videos of him like walking up to her after she did really bad in an event. And she just like didn't want to talk, and he's like, "Ooh,
Really?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
SoCal Regional.
Those guys, man. Those guys are interesting. But when you talk to a lot of these people, to be honest with you, you kind of like you get to see that they're not really like, you know, the characters that they play, which sucks. But
I'm gonna hop
yo."
on for a couple more minutes. I gotta coach 3 o'clock. But I'm
yeah,
gonna
I got
just
to
bring
get
you
out of
later.
here pretty quick too.
Oh, we have some
So
comments. Some girl named Milcy Ellie said Joe is right. She can.
I like her.
Is she a Savanarista?
Never reads.
It's my
One too
wife.
many. One too many syllables.
Hey, that's
And
my
then,
wife.
is that your wife? Oh my gosh, that is your wife. Dude, might be. Kenneth DeLapp, interesting. I think that was about the Buttery Bros. Yeah, interesting is one way to put it for sure.
Yeah, it's just funny watching them like in their what almost 40s, I guess, and
Yeah,
they're dressing like they're 10 with all the wristbands and stuff, and I'm just like, this is so weird.
it's weird, bro. Like, did you guys pay attention to like the Jake Paul heyday by chance at all?
Yeah, he went to school right by me
He
during the whole
did?
Vine stuff. Yeah, he went
What?
to Ohio University.
Well, oh, you're from Ohio?
I went to school at Akron,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but
so
everybody knew who the Pauls were.
yeah, they remind me a lot of like the Pauls,
Yeah.
Jake and Logan for sure, and they're in their 40s. It's kind of
But
weird.
they're getting content, right? And they did a lot of good CrossFit content
Yeah.
at first, but now it's like this weird promotional content stuff now.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like, I don't know. Hiller's taking over the space completely.
Yeah. Kenneth just said it's like a joke that was good, but keeps getting told the same way, and we laugh less and less each time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got two Joes?
What's happening? I can't see Joe. Can you? Joe,
Yeah, I
you
can see
gotta
Joe. He's just choppy.
get out and rejoin, dude.
Nah, just get out.
Just beat it, dude. Yeah, I don't know, bro. Buttery Bros are interesting.
Nah,
And
Joe just pop off.
can you hear him?
I can hear him, but I can't see him on the live.
Oh.
Deuces.
Do you say peace out?
Yeah.
He's done.
And then there were two. Yeah, I got to pop off soon. We got to go to the gym and get some gymming in, some running and some sauna.
Yeah, I gotta go coach too in a little bit. But yeah, dude. Are you signing up for the open?
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
What is the structure of like the whole season now?
Open in 8 days. And then they're going to invite top 1%. I think it's top 2% for masters, top 1% with a minimum of 1,200 being the minimum buy-in for 1% to go to in-affiliate semifinals. And then from in-affiliate semifinals, which is a gap between, there's like a good month gap in between. Like Syndicate Crown is going to invite 10 people from the in-affiliate semifinal at the end to go to theirs for the East Regional, and same thing with TFX for the West. So
Dude.
TFX is the West Regional, Syndicate Crown's the East Regional, and TFX is not going to be in Texas this year. It's going to be in Oklahoma.
Sanders got screwed on that, dude. She's local to me.
Oh, when she went to TFX,
Yeah.
when they came out and said, "Oh, we're only taking people from the West,"
Yeah, she got told yes, and then they were like, nope, never mind, take it back.
Yeah.
That sucks.
which it sucks, but I'm glad they did that because they held to. They should have. I don't think they had all the answers before they started to be able to tell the athletes that, but I'm glad
Yeah.
they told them that early, so that they can prep for the Open and affiliate semifinals. It will be interesting though, with the standards being held for the in affiliate because you need a head judge at the gym. That takes the judges course and then the advanced judges course with an active L1 at the minimum, and then you also need a judge to judge you in the video that has the same thing. So judges course, advanced judges course, active L1 at a minimum
Really? Just for the Open?
for in affiliate semifinals.
Oh, okay. Got it.
But that doesn't
Damn.
mean that every CrossFit affiliate is going to host.
Right.
So just because like our gym isn't affiliated anymore. So if I go to a local gym, doesn't mean they're going to break their back to have two people that are judge certified. I'm going to have to find a gym that is.
But you can still do the Open at a non-affiliated gym, right?
The Open, yes. You
Okay.
have the only difference is the Open, you have to record it and put it on the CrossFit Games page, your video.
Okay.
But if you're doing the in affiliate semifinals, it has to be in an affiliate.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I was just kidding. I am going to sign up for the Open. I just wanted to troll Joe. He's easy to get worked up.
Nice. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool. We're still going to do like a Friday night lifestyle at our gym.
Yeah.
We're just going to record it, obviously, and then
Hell
go from
yeah.
there.
That'll be sweet.
But are you guys? My wife qualified for the Adirondack Challenge up in Lake Placid.
What is that?
It's like some cool comp up there in upstate New York.
Sweet. That's cool.
And they're
Congrats to
not
her.
releasing the workouts until the day of competition.
Really? That's
Yeah.
cool. I like that.
They had an open video board on the leaderboard where you can go and see everybody's videos and like flag them and stuff. It was kind of cool.
That's cool.
But what was funny is they didn't change anything.
Really?
The top 10 was still the top 10, even though we found some stuff on there. So
Nice. That's funny. This dude is trolling you. He says, Kenneth Dillette, my wife.
my wife.
My
Yeah.
wife.
Good thing. Hey, good thing she's driving right now. She's not on. She'd
Yeah.
be right in the comments.
Dude, I'm going to feel like shit in the Open, to be honest with you. I'm running an ultra this Saturday, and then I'm taking the entire week off, and I'm going to do the Open. I'm
Oh,
not in
wow.
CrossFit shape at all. I've done maybe like 6 Metcons or 5 Metcons in the past 10 weeks, maybe. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe I qualify for semis just randomly.
Just randomly.
Yeah.
Aren't you in the Masters category now?
Hey, yo, relax, bro. No.
Right?
No.
That's 2%.
I'm not even 32, dude.
Oh, my bad.
I'm 31. How old are you?
28.
Ah, you're a youngster. Paulina's going to qualify for the Masters Open this year. She's 21 years old.
Oh, nice.
22.
Paulina's I think you're 35 with a Paulina name.
Paulie, shots fired, dude. 35 is the new 30, Kenneth.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No,
Hey,
it'll
man,
be cool.
Yeah, it'll be good. I'm actually like, I know I sound like I don't like CrossFit and I talk shit or whatever, but I genuinely, dude, like just talking from, people Vindicate. I'm Masters AF, boy. Travi, you're in here, dude. I was meaning to text you the other day. I'm gonna talk to you in a minute. But the only reason why I like bring up this stuff is because I like obviously I'm in a powerlifting
I'll see
gym.
you tomorrow.
I rent space in a powerlifting gym, and that's like where I hang out the most. And like, dude, the conversations that happen outside of CrossFit, about CrossFit are just, I'm like, damn, dude, I wish that CrossFit would just get its shit together and understand what they're doing, because they're turning the people who are already turned off from it are even more turned off from it. Like I'm not even kidding you when I say I have gotten more DMs on this counterculture page from people that I know that are like, why does CrossFit keep messing up? Why do they keep doing? I'm like, dude, I'm not a part of CrossFit. I have no idea. I'm not in the what's it called? The business. I have no clue. But they're like, this is exactly why we didn't like it in the first place. This is why we're not going to support it. Like, period. I'm like, whatever, dude. Yeah,
I'd love
it
to
is
work
what it
for
is.
that at one point. I'd love to know what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I feel like, and it sucks because obviously they're a business, so they can't be like fully transparent with the people. But it would be nice to kind of know, some more stuff. Kenneth says powerlifting has got to be a trip to watch. They got a lot of lawn chairs sitting around on the powerlifting side.
You know who's
I
doing
mean,
good videos? Hunter McIntyre has good videos. I watched, even though he's kind of a weirdo sometimes in his videos, he's got some good information.
yeah, I actually think Hunter McIntyre is really smart, dude. Like, people don't give him enough credit for how
No,
smart he
absolutely
is.
not.
Yeah, he's got a lot of like actual strength and conditioning knowledge, and he works with real S&C coaches, not just like High Rocks coaches, you
Yeah,
know.
his
And
running
so,
coach is legit. I've looked
yeah,
him up and looked at his stuff.
yep, yeah, he's got some real good people on board. So, yeah, he deserves some credit.
Yeah, I've been before you pop off, I've been following No Shortcuts training from Andre Houdet.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, you should look him up. He's dope. Andre Houdet.
Yeah, you should send
His
me him.
stuff is legit.
There's this other camp that I looked up just because, you know, that clip that is it best hour of their day? Is that the podcast?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, I think that's the podcast. And Taylor Self was on it, but they had reposted a clip about the strength training versus CrossFit, whatever. We're not going to dive into that. But there was one person that somebody commented, "What about these people?" Joe, shocker, Justin doesn't know who it is. Duh, dude. But somebody had commented this like strength group, and Taylor was shitting on them. And I went and looked at their page, and dude, they are so legit, these people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like shitting on them. I'm like, bro, these CrossFit people, like some of them, not Taylor exclusively, a bunch of people shitting on coaches that are real legit coaches that have MLB, NBA, like freaking UFC fighter. Like, you can't shit on these people, bro. Like, you just can't. Their accolades are so high.
Yeah.
Perennial games athlete, Andre. That's funny.
Yeah, you should look him up. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, send them to me in the DMs. I want to see. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
All right,
I
dude.
gotta run. Go get some
Yeah.
sauna in.
All right, brother. Good luck. Have fun. Train
Appreciate
hard.
it.
Peace. I'm all by my lonely. I feel so lonely. I feel so lonely. You guys, what's like a good, I don't know, what do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think about the CrossFit season, the athletes, all this nonsense? I'm going to keep it a full buck here and just give my 100% opinion on this. I think that with the athletes specifically bowing out, personally, I give them a lot of respect. And I know that people have their reservations about it, but I actually give them a lot of respect and give them a lot of kudos, because although I may not agree with the reason that they drop out, or I don't even know the majority of reasons that they drop out, but like, this is their livelihood, and there is shit on the, you know, that they're losing because of this. They're losing shit because of it. They probably have commitments to some of their sponsors, like you have to do X amount of competitions, all this stuff, right? I give them a lot of credit. I would rather have people stand 10 toes down, regardless of if I know the reason or not, but stand 10 toes on a decision than be too pussy to have an opinion about anything, or stand on their own 2 feet. That's personally what I think. Kenneth Delap, I could care less, but it's fun drama. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I have to sometimes be careful and toe the line between like what's entertainment and what's not, you know, because like sometimes I'll be like, why the hell do you even care? There's no reason to care about this. Like, because I don't care either. Like, I genuinely could care less. Vindicate, if WFP didn't magically appear, they would still be in. I just don't know. I don't know. Travi, I hear you, bro. That's what Joe was saying too. I just don't know. I think somebody like Pat Vellner, who like doesn't financially need the CrossFit Games, like he just doesn't need it. He probably has a ton of relationships built already with brands and a bunch of money stacked up. He probably doesn't need it, you know? But other people, yeah, for sure. I agree with you. If WFP was smart, they should have paid Mal big money. Facts. Big facts. Do we know if Tia Clatoumi is going to do the open and stuff? Kenneth, he doesn't need the CrossFit Games because he's been doing the CrossFit Games for 10 years. Yeah, but he's also stacked a ton of bread. Like, I think a big reason why some of these athletes are saying, like, well, I think that the only reason why a lot of these athletes who are in the WFP are doing it is only because what's it called? Is only because they need money. Like these athletes give their all to this sport, right? And they don't get paid for it. Like even the contracts for some of these athletes with their sponsors are so small that they barely get by. Paulina, what would be the point of sponsoring him if he wasn't an athlete? No, that's my point. Yeah, like now he bowed out of the CrossFit Games, right? Well, he's with the WFP, but he could be losing, sponsorship contracts or commitments. The other thing, at this point, I think in his career, he probably has enough likeness and enough social media following that he doesn't have to be an athlete. In the beginning, yeah, for sure. Like you have to be an athlete for people to want to sponsor you. But I think that now that he's gotten so much likeness and he is like a character, not just an athlete, like people like him for being Pat. Like, yeah, he probably doesn't have to do it anymore. I think the same thing with Colton Mertens. He's like made his brand so good and his personality is shining so much that I think that people would mess with him regardless of if he was trying to be the fittest man or not. That's just my opinion. Vindicate. No way. Only a small handful have that ability. I agree. I think Pat is one of them, though. Pat, I think, is one of them. Paulina, I think that would last like 6 months without competing. 99% of the athletes don't bring value. 100%. Yeah. I mean, well, 99% of the athletes don't bring value right now because their identity is being an athlete. Like, what would he be posting? Don't know yet. We'd have to see, right? They post ads. Yeah, absolutely. But you never know. Like, Pat might be a sleeper cell when it comes to content creation and being a good influencer. He might be. We don't know. I mean, both ways we don't know. I really genuinely do think that if anyone, it would be like Pat. Look at Matt. He still has commitments, I think, or Mal still has commitments somehow. Mal still has commitments with sponsorships and companies or whatever, and she's not an athlete, So I'm just saying, I think that a lot of these people can do it. I think that we're sleeping on the fact that like they have built up a following due to being an athlete, and they can transition if they do it right. I personally think that. Like I said earlier in the podcast, though, a lot of these people don't have personalities. They can't do they have no personalities. They can't even hold a conversation. So like the majority of athletes, could they do this? Absolutely not. But I think that there is a small minority that could. Like Pat is one of them. I think Colton could do it if he decided to. Chicks go viral on Instagram for having dogs, and Colton with his wiener dogs, he could for sure do it. And all of his shit talking. I think James Sprague could do it because he has a personality. Dallin, Jason, Hopper, for sure. I'm confused at some of these athletes that have a big following and have a YouTube channel because they're boring as shit. But I think that, yeah, some of them could do it. I think that we've gotten so used to the idea that these athletes have no value besides being besides being athletes. And we've gotten so used to the fact that they're just athletes that we don't like see a possibility for them to be able to do this type of shit. But Pat Vellner, in my opinion, he's a chiropractor. Like, I mean, he could for sure give out good coaching information. He could for sure give out good. He could be the next Move You. We never know, And I personally want these dudes to do well. I like Pat. I don't care that he dropped out of the CrossFit Games. I could give two shits. I don't like when people virtue signal, but I think I like Pat. I want to see him do well. I want to see him have a career past CrossFit, and I don't even know the guy. So, but he's definitely got cheddar. Have you guys seen that dude's house? I mean, that dude's house is insane. The other thing, again, like I said earlier on in the podcast too, is like, I think it's like kind of, I don't think it's a good point to say these athletes have no value in terms of this sport, because obviously the athletes have value. I think the athletes have value until they don't have value for people who are hating on them. right? Like the sport obviously needs athletes, obviously, right? And what has happened, which I think is just like so stupid. What has happened is that these mistakes have happened, whatever, right? We're not going to talk about that. But the fact that these bigger athletes are saying, see you later to the games, and they're leaving, and it's not on their terms, it's because of a bad thing that happened. I don't know how beneficial or positive for CrossFit's trajectory going forward that is. Because again, the CrossFit Games is where most people outside of CrossFit are now hearing about CrossFit. And I've heard more times than not these two things, okay? As a strength coach, as somebody who spends a lot of time in gyms outside of CrossFit gyms, I've heard these two things more times than not about CrossFit. CrossFit's too hard, I could never do it. And then the second one is I left CrossFit because it was too much and I got hurt too often. And that is just at the affiliate class member level. It's not even at, what's it called? By Paulina. It's not even at the athlete level. I have heard more times than not people come in and not say anything like they left CrossFit because they just wanted to switch it up. It's been because they got hurt doing CrossFit, which sucks because that's not anything about CrossFit. That just says, for me, the barrier of entry to become a CrossFit coach is so low that there are a lot of shitty ass coaches in CrossFit. And I feel like CrossFitters too want to pretend like that's not true. And it's more true than it's not. Trust me. As somebody who's been in the industry for 15 years, it's more true than it's not true. So anyway, the whole point is these athletes do have a lot of value, way more than we're pretending that they do. They have tons of value. You need good athletes and top level athletes that a lot of people know about because they have a big following or whatever, to speak highly of the sport that they're in for other people to want to join the sport, right? That might be the next level of what's it called? Of semifinal athlete or of CrossFit Games athlete, so that the next generation can come in and be filled with good people. But if they're leaving and they're not having anything nice to say about it, then the less people are going to come in, just point blank. Kenneth DeLapp, ego is not your amigo. It's hard to just jump into CrossFit because you aren't going to do well for a while. Yeah, for sure. Ego is not your amigo. That's absolutely right. I 100% agree with that. And it's hard to just jump into CrossFit. It's not. What I think the problem with CrossFit, it's not the problem, it's actually the really good thing about CrossFit, is it gets people really excited. And people want to do the cool things fast, and they want to do them well fast. And that's what's exciting about CrossFit, is how involved you can get into it. Like when I got into CrossFit, thankfully I had like a very good level of base strength, right? I was a competitive power lifter for years. I did competitive bodybuilding. I did competitive strongman. I had all these movements locked in besides the snatch. I had all these movements locked in. And so for me, gymnastics was the thing that I wanted to attack. And I went into it really fast. Probably not the way that I should have. I probably should have learned more drills. I probably should have trusted the coaches and done all this stuff, right? But that's the good and like, you know, the double-edged sword about CrossFit is that gets people involved and engaged very fast. But the problem with that is that I don't even think it's an ego thing. I think it's just you get excited, you want to learn, you want to do more. I want to do 50 handstand push-ups unbroken like Matt Fraser. Like, it's an exciting thing. The real problem becomes that, and again, I'm going so far off topic, but we can talk about high-level coaching and low-level coaching here, is that the barrier to entry for CrossFit is so low to become a coach, it's embarrassing. And I can say that as somebody who has like multiple certifications they're like all, you know, expired by now. But I say this often. I was so excited to get my CrossFit L1 when I signed up for it, because I'm a person that I used to value education a lot. I used to try to do a certification a year, if not two. I really wanted to do the CrossFit L1. I was excited about it. But it was the biggest waste of $1,000 I had ever spent. And I'm not over exaggerating. It was the biggest waste of $1,000. There was no anatomy. There's no physiology in it. It was like, we'll teach you the med ball clean. We'll teach you certain things about like coaching, points of performance. but even that was very minimal. It wasn't, I mean, yeah, I don't think that anyone who takes the CrossFit L1 should be confident in their coaching ability from the CrossFit L1. I think that a lot of like competence from coaching or for coaching comes from getting in the field or taking a higher level course. You know, getting in the field, being a mentee and having somebody teach you how to do things, having somebody teach you biomechanics and stuff like that goes a very long way. Just take a 2-day course and you are deemed an expert. That's the whole idea behind the L1, I think, right? You took a 2-day course and now you get to go in with the wolves. You get to figure it out. To me, it's not good. I think from what I hear, the L2 is a lot more involved in terms of, I think, biomechanics and movement patterns, stuff like that. So I think that if that's true, then maybe the L1 should just be non-existent and the L1 should be the L2. So anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. We're going to be done there. I appreciate you guys showing up. Thanks for listening. I'm glad to be back. We were happy to be back. That was fun. We'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.